The United States Supreme Court is set to consider Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination for a seat.
And a judge reapproves to hear the case of a former UNT professor who sued the university.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us for ntTV News at Noon. I'm Austin Wright.
And I'm Jalen Jackson. We have a great show for you today. A 24-year-old man was shot and killed Saturday morning following a shooting on Fry Street in which he suffered multiple gunshot wounds, according to Denton Police Department and Tarrant County Medical Examiner. Denton Police say that around 2:10 a.m., officers heard several gunshots on Fry Street. Witnesses directed them to a man with multiple apparent gunshot wounds, and he was transported to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The department has not released any additional information on the circumstances of the shooting. Denton PD spokesperson Amy Cunningham said Saturday morning that an investigation was continuing.
A music festival that brings together various industries and inspires creativity took a turn for the worse when a gunman opened fire on Sunday, injuring 4 people. The shooting occurred at Austin's famous South by Southwest festival in downtown Austin's entertainment district. The injured were taken to a local hospital with no life-threatening injuries. The incident occurred following an altercation between 2 groups. The suspected shooter has since been arrested. This was the second mass shooting in Austin's entertainment district over the last year, sparking concerns over gun safety for locals in the area. If any changes are going to take effect, it is up to the city of Austin's local government to decide whether or not they want to urge Texas to enforce stricter gun laws. It was a bit cloudy when I came into work this morning, Jalen.
Well, I know it did start raining, but let's hear what our weather anchor, Sydney Deshawn, has to say. Sydney?
Well, guys, it is currently raining, and that rain is expected to stay all until tonight. Right now, let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions. Here in Denton, right now, we are sitting at 63. It does feel slightly cooler at 61, with high wind speeds at 25 miles per hour. Now, that is due to our wind advisory that will be in place until 7 p.m. tonight. Now, looking at tonight's conditions, our temperatures will warm up to the high 60s. It will feel like 65, and again, we will be seeing those high wind speeds at 31 miles per hour. Now, looking into tomorrow, our temperatures will cool down. It will be 54 degrees, feeling like 48, with lower wind speeds at 20 miles per hour. Now, that is it for our first look. Make sure to stay with us for our full weather forecast later in the show. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Sydney. As the war in Ukraine continues, President Biden plans to speak with European leaders to see what the United States can do to help. CNN's reporter Amy Kiley has the details. It did started raining.
Russian President Vladimir Putin seems undeterred by increasing civilian casualties in Ukraine.
This is really disgusting.
This week, the White House is expanding its efforts to help. President Joe Biden is holding a call with European leaders this morning. Then he's talking with American CEOs about the war. On Wednesday, he travels to Europe for an emergency NATO summit. He'll visit Warsaw, Poland Friday for talks with that country's president about Russia's war in Ukraine. And he's got another invitation.
Why don't he can visit Kyiv next week as a symbol of our solidarity?
The Ukrainian capital is a war zone right now, so Biden does not plan to stop there. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has his own ideas of what he'd like in the president's agenda.
What I'd like to see the president do is to reassure our Eastern Bloc allies.
The Ukrainian people are begging Biden and the U.S. to offer more support. The besieged city of Mariupol refused Russia's demand to surrender today. The Ukrainian president says he's ready to talk to Putin at any time, but he's worried if talks fail.
That would mean that this is a third world war.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Civilian casualties are continuing to grow, which places more pressure on the United States to take action.
It's a historic day on Capitol Hill, as today is the first day of confirmation hearings to consider Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. Jackson is the first black woman ever nominated to serve on the United States Supreme Court. Karen Kafa with CNN has a story.
Because of these damages and because of the need for these communities to be able to respond to these damages, I'm at this time going to be signing a state proclamation, making it a disaster declaration to assist all of the local counties that are currently affected, as well as additional counties that may be added.
This nomination could change the type of laws that are being reviewed by the Supreme Court and impact how minority communities are represented on a federal level. Coming up, a wildfire blazed across multiple counties in the northeast region of Texas.
As gas prices rise, new reports surface about people stealing gas from gas stations.
At a time when misinformation is all too common on social media, we take great pride in bringing you the news that matters, that impacts your family, news you can trust. Local broadcast journalists bring you the facts, covering the stories breaking in our community and across the globe. Text TV to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on local journalism. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
Active fires in Central and West Texas have burned down at least 50 homes due to unfavorable weather conditions over the weekend, according to fire officials. But there is one that is still active. The Big L fire started around 2 p.m. approximately 15 miles northeast of Stephenville in Erath County and is actively burning. Earlier today, the Texas A&M Forest Service said that the area affected by the Big L fire remains an estimated 6,000 acres and 5% contained. I know it's raining now, but the weather has been so crazy, I don't know what to expect anymore.
Honestly, me either. This past week, I've had on a coat and a pair of shorts. I don't know what's coming up next, but our weather anchor, Sydney Deshawn, does. Sydney?
Yeah, guys, our weather has been up and down for a while now. Nobody really knows what to expect. But let's go ahead and break that down in our full weather forecast. Right now, we are seeing temperatures in the high 50s and the low 60s. Our warmest point is going to be down in Fort Worth at 66, and our chilliest point is going to be up in Paris at 56. Now, zooming out to our state map, again, we are seeing similar temperatures. There is nothing too crazy. Our warmer points are going to be down in the south at Houston at 70 and in Austin at 71. And our chillier points are going to be over in El Paso at 55 and up in Amarillo at 55 as well. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our full weather forecast. Now today we are going to be expecting some severe thunderstorms. Now our temperatures are expected to drop tonight as these thunderstorms are going to bring in large hail, flooding downpours, tornadoes, and even damaging wind gusts up to 90 miles per hour. This is going to go for most of the southern U.S. Now, on a lighter note, toward the end of the week, we will be seeing those warm temperatures again. We will be seeing those sunny skies as well and low wind speeds. And on Sunday, we will even be seeing a high of 81. Just make sure to take extra caution due to those high winds that are going to be throughout today and tomorrow. Now, that is it for our full weather forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Sydney. The body of a woman found in Lake Michigan Thursday has been identified as a prominent transgender rights advocate. Evanston police have confirmed it is 31-year-old Elise Mallory, who reported missing March 11th. Trey Ward has the story.
The signs calling for Elise Mallory's safe return still posted around town, despite a tragic end to a days-long search. This comes after a woman's body was found on these rocks on the lakefront near Garden Park in Evanston.
We saw the legs first, but he was pretty shocked. And I think he was kind of stunned into silence for the next couple days.
Ruth Lombach says her 19-year-old grandson, who's back home in Switzerland, was walking with a friend on his last day in the States when he found the body. That horrific discovery made on Thursday just blocks away from Mallory's apartment on Hinman Avenue. Then days later, on Saturday, the unthinkable was confirmed by Evanston police. The body was Mallory.
Here 7 days ago.
Her friends and family hoping to find her alive after she went missing on March 11th, 2 days after texting with her sister. Her car was found on Tuesday in a parking lot on the same street she lived on. At that time, detectives said her apartment had been left unlocked, but police say they found no evidence in her home or car that would indicate any foul play.
It's beyond words. There's nothing one can do about it. It's a tragedy. It's sad.
A woman who advocated for transgender rights is now being remembered for her impact. Governor Pritzker saying in a Twitter post, quote, "The loss of Elise Mallory is heartbreaking," going on to say, "You deserve to feel safe in your home, and I will continue to do everything in my power to make Illinois welcoming and inclusive for everyone." Attorney General Kwame Raoul saying the Attorney General's office has lost a member of our family, and may Elise's memory inspire all of us to live authentically and have humanity toward all.
Family and friends are planning a candlelight vigil. The Evanston Police Department is continuing its investigation into Mallory's cause and manner of death.
No male, low morale was the motto of the Army's all-black women's corps named 6888 that served in World War II. Decades later, the group is being awarded a Congressional Gold Medal for their hand in boosting morale across Europe by delivering letters from home. The corps of around 850 women sorted 17 million pieces of mail, clearing up a 6-month backup in just 3 months. An award ceremony has not yet been scheduled.
With gas prices skyrocketing, a nationwide crime wave has struck, with thieves stealing not only from cars and trucks, but gas stations themselves. CNN's Adrian Brodus reports.
There was a pretty strong odor of gasoline.
They smelled it before they saw it.
As soon as you put it in the air, everybody could see that somebody had actually drilled a hole into the fuel tank. Right here is where he was able to drill all the way through the fuel tank.
Mike Gross said this Jeep, a trade-in, was sitting on the parking lot of the dealership he owns. This is the drill Neillsville police say gas thieves used.
So there was maybe 3 or 4 gallons of gas in there, and he did probably close to about $1,500 of damage in order to try to steal $15 to $20 worth of gas.
From Wisconsin to Atlanta and California, thieves, likely fueled by rising gas prices, are stealing from individuals and targeting gas stations with diesel. In Houston,
we ended up losing about $5,000 to $6,000.
That's Jerry Thale on security camera chasing the driver he says stole 1,000 gallons of fuel from his family's gas station over a 3-day period. At first, he thought his sensors were off.
This makes me kind of frustrated and angry. I can't pass this off to my customer.
The van is seen on security footage parking on top of the underground fuel tank.
They'll break the lock, and then they'll have a trap door inside their minivan, They'll open that up, break the lock inside our little little tube that goes into our tank. They'll insert their own tube and then start their pump, and then that's when the diesel is suctioned into their van.
Also in Texas, security cameras captured trucks filling up with diesel at this Chevron station throughout the night. The owner told CNN 2,000 gallons of gas were gone and the value at least $10,000.
This is an especially an egregious crime with individuals taking advantage of businesses like this.
In North Carolina, surveillance video shows thieves apparently use equipment to bypass paying. Then, more than 15 cars pull up, fill up, and get away with $1,600 in fuel, prompting the owner to take extra security precautions. And in Washington, the Everett Police Department posting a warning on Facebook telling residents to park in a garage or a high-traveled area due to the increase in gas theft. Back in Wisconsin, work to replace Mike's damaged tank begins.
I was talking to an insurance adjuster, and he said he's seen several times now where people have started fires by trying to steal gasoline in this method. So not only is it not the smartest way to try to get gas out of there, but it's also a pretty dangerous way as well.
The national average cost for a gallon of gas is $4.25.
When we come back, the University of North Texas dance program fights to keep the students dancing.
And find out why credit agencies are removing a percentage of customers' medical debt.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
Former UNT professor Nathaniel Heer's lawsuit over the university's decision to fire him will continue as a federal district court rules in his favor. Some individual claims within the suit, like breach of contract, were dismissed, but ultimately the court denied UNT's motion to dismiss the suit entirely, saying that attempting to force Heers to apologize for comments made while criticizing microaggressions is unconstitutional compelled speech. No final ruling has been made, but Heer's lawsuit will continue.
As you may already know, the UNT dance program will soon be phasing out over the next 5 years. ntTV's Christine Guevara got a chance to speak with the dance students and get a deeper understanding of the issue.
You may or may not have seen this building on campus, but this is the home of UNT's dance program, which is right off of Chestnut and Bernard Street. Just recently, the dance department chair broke the news to students that the dance degree plan will be phasing out in the next 5 years.
It's heartbreaking seeing that we're not going to have this program anymore. Like I said, I'm only a second year here, so I'm a sophomore, but even in the year and a half, 2 years that I've been here, the UNT dance program has shown me so much love, support, and community, more than anywhere else I've been.
Current students in the program will be able to finish out their degrees, but beginning this fall 2022, students will no longer be accepted.
As a senior, we basically were told that it doesn't affect us at all, but as a senior who is planning on getting a graduate degree someday, it does affect us because I'm now having to shift my financial planning and my academic planning to go into a graduate program within the next 5 years. Especially with our younger students, our freshmen and our sophomores, they're getting affected by the fact of they're gonna not have a lot of people to audition for NCC, Choreo 3, and all of our other projects that go along with our classes.
The reason behind this decision is said to be due to low enrollment, but that may not be such a problem.
To be a successful dancer, you can't be in a class with big numbers. To grow, you need to have that one-on-one opportunity with your professor, otherwise you won't get any better.
Students are not the only ones affected, but also the professors and alumni. UNT dance adjunct professor and class of 1998 alumna Amity Perry speaks on what this change means to her.
As a professor, I will say that one of the things that we promote in our program and with our students is dance advocacy and arts advocacy and self-advocacy. And so first, I'm totally proud of them for absolutely taking that step and initiative and fighting for what they believe in and what they know is right. As an alumni, I was always supported by the faculty that were here, that were my mentors for over 20 years. And to see and understand how the curriculum developed, why it developed the way it did, and the service that it gave to the students, I felt was very unique in what it gave me as an undergrad going out into the world and being able to produce myself and promote myself and be an advocate was super powerful. And I attribute that absolutely to my degree here and my time here.
A few ways you can help is by scanning this QR code. It will take you to the petition to save UNT Dance.
Another thing is following our Save UNT Dance Instagram page.
We have a hashtag.
We have a hashtag as well. If you're sharing anything about saving the department, saving UNT's dance program, you need to make sure to use the hashtag Save UNT Dance.
For a university that claims to be student-centered, I think the students deserve all of the answers and to see where the support comes from.
If you would like to help, the dance program will be having performances in the next few weeks. You can follow at Save UNT Dance on Instagram to learn more.
The Dark Knight returns to dominate the box office, but a couple of new movies also made their mark this weekend. David Daniel has early estimates for the top 5 films.
What is your deal, man?
Dog rode into 5th place in its 5th weekend in theaters, grossing $4.1 million. The slasher film X expanded to wide release and made $4.4 million for 4th place. Uncharted fell to 3rd, but collected $8 million for a domestic total of $126 million. The anime adventure Jujutsu Kaisen 0 debuted in 2nd place, opening strong with $17.7 million.
What are you saying, Kinsey Moon Knights for the Penguin?
The Batman crossed the 300 million mark in domestic grosses, topping the chart for a 3rd straight weekend with $36.8 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Millions of Americans are going to be a little bit happier after hearing encouraging news about their unpaid medical bills. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion announced Friday that they are removing nearly 70% of medical debt from consumer credit reports. The 3 large credit reporting agencies are responding to the financial crisis caused by the pandemic. Research from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau shows Americans collected $88 billion in medical debt on consumer credit records as of June 2021. Black, Hispanic, young, and low-income consumers are most likely to be burdened with unpaid medical bills. Now, starting July 1st, paid medical collection debt will no longer be included on the consumer credit reports, and more changes are expected.
Breakfast may be the most important meal of the day, but you might need to check the label before turning on the stove. Continental Mills announced a recall of its Great Value Buttermilk Pancake and Waffle Mix. The FDA says fragments of cable used on the processing line were found in some of the boxes. There are no reported injuries yet, but customers are advised to return the mix to wherever they purchased from for a refund. More information can be found on the FDA's website.
Speaking of pancake mix, sometimes things can end bittersweet.
That's right, Jalen. And our sports anchor Armando Berry has more on the UNT sports scene. Armando?
Hey, Jalen and Austin, we've had some big games on big stages over the weekend. I'll let you know how things went down when we come back.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
This year's Mean Green men's basketball season has been our school's biggest star on the national stage, but like all good things, they do come to an end. Last night, the Mean Green lost at home in the second round of the NIT to Virginia. To add more hurt to this heartbreak, the Mean Green fought back after being down 10 with 11 minutes left and tied the game on a Tyler Perry and one three-pointer that forced overtime. But in that extra period, Virginia caught fire, hitting 3 threes that put the Mean Green in another last-second shot situation. The Mean Green were able to make the deep pass connection to Tyler Perry, who shot the 30-footer that just rimmed out, resulting in the end of yet another historic men's basketball season. But with one season ending, another becomes the focus, and the Mean Green softball team has all eyes on them after securing their first home series win of the season this past weekend. Offense was the name of the game in Sunday's 7-3 win over Florida Atlantic, as the Mean Green scored 7 runs on 9 hits. They were practically the only ones scoring at Lovelady Stadium, as junior pitcher Ashley Peters kept the Owls scoreless throughout the first 5 innings. They'll need to grab some home cooking for the road before they take off for the rest of March on a road trip that begins in Nacogdoches against SFA tomorrow night. That's a look at sports today. Jalen and Austin, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tomorrow for the latest coverage here at North Texas Television.